So how do I start my music career? Let's talk about it. What's up, bootleggers? It's Scotty Mamadou from the Bootleg Generation, where we finesse the music industry. And today we are going to talk about how to start your music career. I know it might just, I feel like this is such a simple, question, but also a very, very complicated, complex question, because there's so many, it's like a maze. There's so many entrances into the maze, but you only have one entrance out, and trying to make your way to that center of the maze is what basically we're talking about. Guys, if you're new here, before I start all of this, hit all the buttons, hit that like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, join the bootleggers, join the bootleggers club, and come and finesse the music industry with me. Every week, 2 to 3 times a week, I drop videos. But let's get on with the video. So, first things first is how to start your music career. Number one, and also I got my note card here just because, I don't be remembering stuff sometimes. I gotta write that down. Number one, what type of music do you do? For me, I do a lot of hip hop. I do a lot of, like alternative type of stuff, alternative hip hop and stuff, and that's what I wanted to focus on. What type of music do you do? My thing is, if you're going into one of the bigger genres, always hone down, your niche and stuff. So if you do, if you say, for instance, you're a rapper, and I mean, some people rapper. Some people decide, there's many routes to go. Are you trying to be super grimy, super like Tech 9 underground, or are you trying to, be more like pop? Are you trying to be more like a Drake? Are you trying to be more like a conscious, like, Lupe Fiasco and stuff like that? Hone that down on what type of music you want first. What type of music are you interested in making? What type of music do you think other people are interested in hearing from you? And work on that. So number two is, when you're also thinking about that, is a lot of people do not think about this. And some people, could be in an industry that they've never looked, because what I've seen is a lot of musicians, once they're doing music, they just kind of hone in on themselves without looking at competition. And you always have to look at competition, because number two is the industry that you're going for, is it saturated, or do you have a wide, huge audience? What I mean by that is, say for instance, you make like pop, hip hop music. It is such a saturated market that it's going to be hard for you to break through. But if your niche is like, hey, I do music, but I only want to make music for dudes who skateboard. Yes, that might be a very, very like honed in like type of demographic, but the more honed in you are, the better it is, because that kind of like, that for one helps you decide what type of music are you gonna make, what type of like instrumentations are you gonna need, what type of beats, what type of this are you gonna do. And it also helps you look at your audience and be like, okay, well, my music is for, specifically for skateboarders. You can go out and start making music and asking like skaters, like, what do y'all think? Can y'all rock to this? Number three is focus on your brand. Especially when you're starting off. And what I mean by brand, most people think brand means, oh, it's just my name, it's just my logo. Yes and no. That is part of your brand. Your brand is more than just your name. It's more than just your logo. Your brand also incorporates how people view you. What are your types of color schemes and stuff. And I'm gonna make more videos dedicated specifically to brand work, because that is my specialty. I am a marketer, and that's what I do. and it's such a like a huge thing that I don't think I can cover it all in this. But just so you know, your brand is more than just your logo. It is how, what type of color schemes do you use. Whenever you see different types of like videographers and stuff like that, you can see that they have a certain type of LUT package, a certain type of lens that they use, that it's like, okay, you have like, for instance, you have like a Michael Bay who's like, explosions are my thing, versus like a Wes Anderson who's like, symmetry is more of my thing. That is all part of someone's brand. So, as a musician, you have musicians that it's kind of like, for a while that you see, like, what was it, Mumford and Sons, that they had, like, it was indie, but you heard that banjo and you were like, hey, that's Mumford and Sons. Stuff like that. That is part of a brand. So hone in on that, and think about what your brand, your personal brand is. Like for me, for instance, whenever I do music, because I was initially born in Africa, so sometimes whenever I am doing music, whenever I'm rapping or whenever I'm singing, I will switch my dialect back and forth. I'll switch into my like African dialect, and then I'll bring it back, and that's sort of like my brand. It's sort of like what I do is, a push and pull with my vocals like that. So number 4 is how to start your music career. Is number 4 is do it. But when I mean do it, is start off with demos. Start off with different types of, experiment with your sound. A lot of people, when they start off, think that it is only going to take me like a week to find my sound. No, it's not. You're constantly finding your sound. That's the secret, is you're constantly finding your sound, and you're constantly gonna make it better. You just don't. That's what some artists, what has stifled them from getting further, is because they're like, this is my style, it's not improving. That perfect example is whenever you hear like those golden era rappers, like 90s rappers, and then they hop on like they try to hop on a modern day beat to kind of compete, but they're rapping that same like 90s flow, and you just kind of like, man, I can't get with that. But at the same time, you see some of those old cats trying to rap all of these like newer like flows and like, all these auto-tune, and you're like, it doesn't fit right and stuff like that. It's because they didn't like gradually change their style. They were just hopping onto stuff that they see. Your style is your own. Remember, your style is your own. What you can do is you can start working on your style, and you can further it. If you see somebody else do something, instead of just plainly copying it, incorporate different aspects of that you like into your style, and build it into yourself. That's one thing that I do like about like what Young Thug does is, yes, you might see other people like do that, but the way that his vocals, the way that he brings in that weird high pitched vocal that you're like, I'm not sure if my ears like this, but at the same time my ears don't like, my ears aren't upset, and he starts doing stuff. It's because he saw the styles that were happening, and he just incorporated that into what he already did, and that's why it works for him. That's why you see a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna start doing this. Same thing with Future is, he saw a lot of what was happening with the Atlanta scene, and he was just like, I'm just gonna incorporate that into me. So number 5, or the last one is, and this is the most obvious one, is after to start your music career, is you have to release music. Like, you have to release music. You can't just like, yes, you might have demos, and demos you're just testing out, but you're gonna have to get yourself on Spotify, on streaming services and stuff. And I'll make a separate tutorial on how to do that if you don't know how to. For right now, I'm gonna put a link below. I personally use DistroKid as a distribution, as my distribution services and stuff like that, and I've been using it for so long. So hit that link below, guys, and I have a link to DistroKid. It's super easy, but I'll definitely make a tutorial for y'all for that. But releasing stuff and also promoting stuff, you're gonna have to promote stuff, and you're gonna have to learn to promote stuff. If you don't know how to do that, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. This is the channel that is going to help you learn how to promote your stuff. And what I mean by that is other people will teach you how to promote stuff that doesn't work, or it's just stuff that they're like, oh, I think this is it. No, me, I'm actually gonna do it, and I'm actually gonna show y'all how to properly promote. So guys, join the Bootleg Club, join the bootleggers, hit that like, subscribe. I'll see you on the next video. Y'all have a really wonderful day. Peace.